There, now we can finally say welcome to the Uncut Show, everybody. You've got Joe, you've got Kyle, and you've got yours truly. I'm back from Disneyland. And if you were on the Patron Hangout, you heard about that. And you're going to hear about it more here because everybody else needs to hear my fucking thunder and fire.
Because why not?
I just don't know why. I don't understand the 5 W's of Disneyland. I don't understand who the fuck thinks it's a good idea to go there and spend all this goddamn money. I don't know why I did it myself. I don't know where the rest of my fucking money and time went when I was there. Like, I went there for my last day of going on rides. I did 6 rides, and I was there for like 11 goddamn hours.
And standing in line, probably.
Well, no. Well, I did Fast Pass for everything. But you still had to wait hours to use like a Fast Pass for shit. And it's like, why? Why can't I just walk up to the front of the line? I've got a Fast Pass. Go on. You know?
Did you go to Knott's?
No, I should have did that instead.
Knott's would probably Knott's in Universal City probably would have been. I don't know. Did you get to go to Universal?
Yeah, I went to Universal Studios and I had a fucking blast there. That was great.
Universal's a lot of fun, especially if you're a big movie geek.
Yeah, like just getting to see Bates Motel there, I'm like, holy shit!
Yeah, it's really there, man. It's really there. And you know what road leads to the Bates Motel? The Psychopath.
Fuck you. Let's see. All right, let's get to what's our uncut for this week? Oh yeah, we have a Matt Powell. That's what.
I looked at this clip. This boy.
I was gonna do his little toady, his little sycophant that he has, but I was like,
God, that's even worse.
That was terrible.
I mean,
what?
It's like Matt Powell is a pulpit pimp, but the kid was a pulpit pimpette.
Oh, yeah, he was Guzman.
No, he had some other kid that was another kid. He's got another sermon.
One.
No.
Oh, JC and his Sunshine Band, will you please help me so I don't stutter about the flood? Oh, and I have to pee real bad too. You know, I'm being really anal retentive up here in the pulpit.
Penal retentive.
Well, you know, I was looking at them at the Matt Powell clip, and I was thinking, man, he's just up there by himself.
That's what it feels like. It feels like he's doing these sermons in the off hours when nobody's there in the church.
Either that or
he's got a couple people. He's got a couple people in there to make noise.
How do we know they're real people and not a pre-recorded laugh track or a amen track?
I was gonna say, let me see if I can.
Just throws a couple in there. Yeah.
All right, well, what do you think about that, studio audience?
Oh, that's terrible.
See, we're goddamn funny.
You know, the other thing about Matt, when I was looking at him, I'm telling you, man, holy crap, that boy's got a terrible makeup, man. Look at how his cheeks are blushing. I mean, look, honestly, guys, he really needs some of this. You know, he needs some of this Noxema here on the face. The boy's cheeks are so ruby. I mean, you know what he looks like you put white face on the rest of him, he's going to be the Joker.
What a story, Mark.
Oh, you should know all about The Room. I'm sure you do, Joe.
Look, it's going on almost 41 years working with these crazy mother. Hush your mouth. Oh, yeah, we can dig it.
Okay, let's get to the Matt Powell thing. I'll get out of my soundboard here, and we'll get settled into doing this piece of shit.
The Bible says in
all 471 views. Sorry, I laugh only because I fucking hate this guy.
Hey, can you check and see if he deleted my comment? I asked him where was the choir. I asked if the choir was taking a smoke break.
Let's see. Let me go to the
cases to
Let's see. I don't see anything by you just yet. So, you're not Justin Bacon. You're not.
Don't tell me they took my comment away. I'm a weak.
Amen, amen, blah, fucking blah, 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 blah. Brett Keane commented, ugh, that's an unholy fucking alliance. Brett Keane one time was an atheist, but now he's not. And
Sure.
oh, did we share with you guys that maybe I think we talked about it only on like on interstitials before we did the uncut stuff, that like Matt Powell texted me out of the fucking blue the other day.
He did?
No, this is one that I shared with you and Felicia. I don't know if we shared it with everybody else, but let me see. Voice, let's see, Google Voice. Let me go to that real quick. It was a text message I got the other day. Not the other day, but a while back. Let's see. Oh, here it goes. Hey, X, people from my church keep telling me that you guys want to have me on your show for a discussion.
Oh,
No, not anymore. We don't. No. Usually I don't go on shows to discuss things, but I would be willing to discuss things with you guys. It would be a very friendly conversation if it ever did happen. Just let me know what you'd like to do. Take care of yourself, winky face.
winky face.
It's just a smiley face, but it's funnier with.
I was going to say, if it's a winky face, you want to check that mother father's. Yeah, I said mother father.
Oh, that's fine.
You need to check the mother father's PC and see what kind of porn's on it.
Oh, I'm sure we know what kind of porn is on his computer.
No,
So
you never know.
he messaged me in September with about the same thing, and then another one like in January is what he said. So it's like someone's thirsty.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what was the thing that he texted me? He didn't text me specifically. He like,
put a comment. He commented on.
it was a comment on a video where he's like, he was talking about how it's no wonder you guys don't want to have a discussion with me. Look what I did to your compatriot, the raging atheist. And I'm like, raging atheist isn't even a fucking friend of ours. Like, I'm sorry. Do you think that like all Chinese people know every fucking Chinese person on the planet? Because that's what you're doing with atheists right now. It's like,
well, you got to remember one thing, fella. It's the Jewish year 5779, and it's the Chinese year 4717. So you know what happened for 1,062 years? It means the Jews didn't know where to go for Christmas Day dinner.
God damn it. Let me scroll up a little bit. I think I still have it here.
Hey, I don't even have any of this written down, man. I'm just... This is what happens when I drink this extra strong. This is what happens when I drink that extra strong Mexican shit.
Juan Valdez. Let's see. No, that's not it. No, that's not it. That's not it. God, we talk a lot.
X, I just really wish I could have gotten together with you and I could have taken you to dinner, man. I would have loved to have taken you to dinner.
Yeah, there was like no time for us to do anything else, and I didn't even have a car when we were out there.
Oh, crap.
No time to do anything you actually really wanted to do.
Yeah, and
Gotta
like
do what everybody else wants to do.
my friend that does the Geek Dad Report, Brian, he was down there at the same time I was doing stuff. I'm like, fuck, couldn't we like hooked up for drinks or something? And it's like, nope, didn't have cars. And he was staying in like the northwestern part of LA, and I was staying in Orange County. So I was like in Garden Grove. So
oh, almost by the Crystal Cathedral, which is no longer the Crystal Cathedral.
oh, is that what that giant fucking like glass or mirrored building is?
Yeah. If Schuler, man, there were a lot of pissed off folks, man, because the Catholic Church bought it when the church went bankrupt. And then Schuler was all pissed off because he didn't get his pension, and he wound up. I don't know what they did. They didn't even honor anything from him. But yeah, the Catholic Church bought it, and they're turning it into they have to reconfigure it. So there's like a whole bunch of money there that's turning it from a Protestant to a Catholic cathedral.
Takes a lot of work.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they got to put the benches in those special little boxes for the kiddies.
And so when we were driving past that building, everybody's like, "Oh, what's that? Oh, what's that?" And I'm like, "It's probably some fucking church." And I actually dropped the F-bomb in the van with like all the other people. And then like all snapped and looked at me, and we drove past, and it's like Catholic church. I'm like, "Called it."
Yeah, like I said, that's the one. Oh man, Schuler just scammed these people. He scammed them. He promised them lifetime. It was just like Jim and Tammy Faye over at Heritage USA.
All right, let's get
the Bible says, "And to you who are..."
All right, there's the Matt Powell video. We're going to get started with this. Okay. Here we go. Hey there, you amazing patrons. It's X, and I'm here with Kyle and Joe, and this is the Utah Outcasts Secret Patron Show. This is the special content we provide to the folks who are so generous enough to share at least $1 a month with us. And for that $1, you get special patron live streams 4 times a month, commercial-free episodes of the podcast, and this show right here, which remains exclusive for about 6 months because we've been kind of catching up on ourselves, and vacations happen. That's what happens. So we got to make like a buffer of a handful more of them. So if you're hearing this and you're not a patron, you should change that by going to patreon.com/Utah Outcasts, which was funny to me because we did the first, the one that got declassified recently was the one of us talking about you write the Book of Mormon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
When we did. And we only got through like the first 10 of the bullet points, and there were like 20 more of them that we had to get to.
Uh-huh.
And the next morning there was like 7 new patrons because you could tell that we edged them so hard that they had to go and get the next one. They're like, I need to know what happens next.
Oh, praise Jesus. Did they give up their magic underwear and trade it for a kinky jockstrap?
What I just love is seeing that people like thirst so much for that next episode that they have to join Patreon. And I mean, okay, Joe's here because he is a Patreon patron. And not because we don't think he's a great guy or anything, but he pays enough to us every month that he gets to be put on the list of the people that get to be special guests if we are missing a person. So that's why he's hanging out with us tonight. So
champ to Mo and Larry.
You're Curly Joe. Champ. That's what it is. You have Curly and Curly Joe.
Yeah.
So if you're hearing this, I already said that part. So all right, for this week, we've got a Matt Powell sermon that we're going to get to. But I want to remind everybody, we're always on the lookout for new terrible shit to use on the Utah Outcast. So feel free to share this, share your information that you have with us via the Slack channel, YouTube, and email. Email generally is the best place to get me because it stays in my inbox for fucking ever. And I will actually read it. And most of the time respond to people. I was on vacation though, so a lot of shit built up. So I apologize for that. So Matt Powell's sermon. Let's go ahead and get started with his brand of Christianity. And let me crank this up so everybody can hear it.
The Bible says, "And to you who are troubled, rest with us, when the Lord Jesus shall be revealed from heaven and his mighty angels, in flaming fire, taking vengeance on them that know not God, and that obey not the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ, who shall be punished with," notice this word.
There was a hard cut in the video. You guys couldn't see it, but there was a hard fucking cut.
Like, Ohio
he's here,
man.
He's here at the beginning of it, and then he's like way the fuck over here in the next portion of it.
Interesting.
For people that couldn't see, I moved quite a bit across the screen.
It's also very interesting how where he decides to put the emphasis in his sentences is always very confusing to me.
What do you mean about that, Kyle?
Somebody never went to Toastmasters and learned how to speak in public.
And some people just have it naturally. I've never done I did some stupid communication shit in college, but beating yourself over the head with doing a YouTube channel and a podcast for 7 goddamn years will teach you a good way of communicating with people. And I mean, sure. I trip up on words every once in a while, but
I could not speak in public. When I was in high school, I hated it. It was high school hell. I mean, HE to the double. I mean, we're talking 1134 backwards. But I actually joined Toastmasters, and that's how I learned how to speak and how to plan speeches and how to communicate effectively. They always have me training these new kids that we have. New kids to be my they're young enough to be my grandkids now.
So except when Matt Powell's doing his thing, he's looking down like all the way down when he's talking to the camera.
Holy Sylvester. Down, down, I'm going down.
Don't do that, man.
For everlasting destruction. Everlasting destruction from the presence of the Lord and from the glory of his power. There are many people out there that think that soul winning doesn't work, that we shouldn't even be concerned about lost people because God has just foreordained everything. But let me ask you a question. Would it be loving of God?
I'm trying to pause it. No, we don't like your soul winning because you're bugging the shit out of people that don't care to hear your fucking message, Matt.
Well, yeah.
Well, you're a Calvinist where we used to joke about tiptoeing through the tulips.
It's like, okay, well, if you're Calvinist, then automatically, we know that people's route is predetermined. So.
Yeah. The total depravity of man.
Or how about you could just be a Unitarian and everybody goes to heaven? Or no, sorry, that's universalism. Sorry, that's not Unitarian. So
yeah, you could be like A.C. Pramidama from the from Hare Krishna, and he's supposedly on Mars with L. Ron Hubbard now.
I mean, if you gotta go someplace, I might as well go to Mars, right?
Oh man, it would break my heart if we landed. If we put the Mars lander there, and it comes into contact with L. Ron Hubbard. Oh my god!
L. Ron Hubbard's just sitting there going, "Hey, you guys finally made it."
This is what happens when you go OT 13 or whatever the fuck you went to 27 or something.
Oh god!
Oh shit! L. Ron Hubbard's right.
Though it did make me laugh when I was visiting California and I got to see the back end of the Celebrity Center as we were driving past. I'm like, I was like, hey, I know that place.
And it really, their main building used to be the old Cedars of Lebanon Hospital on Sunset. And of course, my Kaiser complex is all ringed around it.
Don't you know that psychology is evil? Okay, we're getting off on Scientology. Anyway, back to
wrong
this
subject.
Just to create this world and just automatically damn those people to everlasting destruction, as the Bible says. Is that loving to just damn people to hell?
Yes. You seem to be okay with it.
Yeah, just imagine the party you'd have in hell with everybody, man. Just think like getting down.
A hell of a party.
You're down there in hell and you're dealing with Dick Nixon, maybe,
Well, what's funny to me is that this whole it's not is that a loving thing to do to damn people to hell? I don't know. Ask your God. He's the one that set up the fucking chess table. He's the one that is deciding how the game is played. He's the one that has this fucking ultimate torture for all eternity.
And it's in the hands of an angry God.
I'm deep in the bowels of playing God of War right now, but I'm just convinced that every god is a cunt. That's just what I'm seeing. Is that?
Well, yeah, those are the rules you set up.
Using a four-letter word.
they're either cunts or they just are completely powerless.
What if they're bisexual?
Well, then they can be powerless cunts.
They can suck a dick.
Not a chance. People often ask me, why do you go soul winning? Why do you take God's word so seriously? I'll tell you why. Because there's a hell and it's real. And that's why everybody in this room is gathered here together tonight.
All three of them.
Crickets.
That reverb in that room is telling me that there's not really many people there.
No, there's not.
Especially since you're not hearing the crying babies that you normally hear in a church.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're not hearing the deep breathing that you hear from people in the church. You're not hearing the that happens.
There's no coughing.
The talking in tongues there, brother.
There's no murmuring. There's no
glossolalia going on there. Yeah. That's a $5 word for what you just said. So
people
because we know that one day, whether you're saved or not, you're going to have to stand before the Lord, and you're either going to go to be with Him for eternity, or you'll have to go to a place called hell, or what the Bible describes as everlasting destruction.
Okay.
Well,
Well, I mean, they haven't exactly set up. They haven't exactly set up God to be somebody that you would want to spend eternity with.
I just got back from a week-long vacation with my children. Is a welcome. I'll embrace
everlasting destruction. That doesn't sound so bad.
Well, it sounds right out of Joseph Schumpeter, one of the economists that I studied when I was in college. Schumpeter was specialized in. He started in the Austrian school, laissez-faire, but he realized enough that it sucks dead elephant dick. Schumpeter eventually became a socialist, and his field was he was studied why capitalism was so self-destructive, and he called it creative destruction. Now there,
that's cool.
Economics.
Everlasting.
To use that economics degree.
And I just want to say, we're reaching the next generation. If you come to our church on a regular Sunday, you'll see pews filled every Sunday morning. And the reason...
Filled.
Hey, if it's the next generation, does that mean Data and Riker and Captain Picard are in the pews?
No, it's going to be filled with the B-list people like Gowron, and it's going to be... shit, I was going to make a joke about who was the security chief before Worf. God damn it.
Oh,
I
wait
forgot
a
her
second.
name.
Oh, Denise Crosby. Yeah,
whoever her character's name was, I forgot.
I got a story about her.
There's some nerd that's probably mashing the keyboard fucking hard right now.
You forgot about it. I know it. It's in the back. It's right there. And
Lieutenant
God
Yar.
damn it, Yar. That's it.
Tasha Yar. There
Tasha
you go.
Yar.
Thank you. See, it's in there. I just didn't bring it up. Anyway, we'll get back to the Denise Crosby story in a bit. Let's get to
that is. And the reason we're not a dead church is because we have young people in this church that are serious about the Word of God.
I'm serious about seriousness.
Let's get serious. Let's get serious.
I hate his emphasis on shit. I hate it so much.
His emphasis is on the wrong syllable.
Doing the piece. We know a little field in Lincolnshire. In the summer, peas grow there.
No, this is more of like Orson Welles doing the champagne commercial where he's drunk off his ass trying to sell shit.
That's
for a treat, commercial. People. For a treat, just Google Orson Welles champagne. Oh, it's such fun. And you think to yourself how fucking accomplished that guy was and how that's how he ended his life.
Yeah. I mean, the liver gave up its life for him.
Oh, the French champagne.
Oh.
That are serious about reaching people with the gospel. You know, people wonder, why are my children falling away? Why don't they want anything to do with God? Well, you're not even in church.
I mean, that would kind of explain why their kids aren't going to church, because they're not going to church. I mean,
well, you don't. Yeah, you don't just.
That makes sense, but.
Well, I mean, I guess you could. I mean, if you need a break. And Sunday kids, get the hell out.
The kids just want to fall asleep in the pew.
I admit, I went to the back row and I put the hymn book in front of me, and then I put the sci-fi book inside of it, and I sat there and read.
I did it once with Cat's Cradle, and my mother caught me. I got bongoed.
Oh, man. And what's really sad about this is like, my kid asked me a question earlier today about where did humans come from, and I thought she was asking like the baby making question. I'm like, you're still a bit young. We're not going to go down that route yet. But no, it was more of a where did humanity come from? And I started talking about it, and like some kid in my class said that we came from Jesus, duh. And I was like, how is that? Like, the kid was like, you're weird for not knowing that.
Doesn't even work.
You're weird for not knowing that. And I'm like, kid, they're all fucking weirdos for believing that shit. Well, you don't go to church on Sundays. You're weird.
The really weird part is that is nobody's dogma. Where the hell does that come from?
Jesus shotgunned everybody into fucking existence from the end of his dick.
Oh, that's what they mean by panspermia.
Good. The penis is evil. The seed that shoots out seed.
All right, back to Matt.
And you expect your family to just stick together. You know, you ever hear that saying that a family that prays together stays together?
No.
Yes.
I mean, I have heard it, but it didn't work for my family.
You're not the only one, X. We're in the same basket with that.
You know, my parents are in their 60s and they're getting a divorce, and I no amount of praying could have saved that fucking relationship.
It has never once worked.
Nope.
I'd like to just coin a saying right now. You know, a family that comes to church together will stay together.
That doesn't even fucking work.
It doesn't work. It doesn't even rhyme. God damn it.
The family that prays together stays together works. The family that comes to church together goes to blurch together. That's like the kind of structure you need to have. But you didn't even bother to fucking try to make it work better.
The family that goes to church every Sunday will find it's a fun day. How's about that? As in fundamental. I know.
As long as they're praying and doing the things that God wants them to do, we need to continue doing what we're doing.
But
we have to do what works, amen? And people told...
They have to ask in the middle of amen. Can I get an amen? That's like me going... That's like me doing the Jeb Bush thing. It's like, please clap.
Please clap.
But how do you know? How do you know what God wants you to do? His instruction manual is not exactly clear.
Hey, do you know what? God damn
Especially
it, bro.
that part of the Song of Solomon, you know, where that's it's kinky there, boys and girls.
I'm going to let him talk for another minute because I'm not going to
Okay.
go super long on this because it's a 5-minute preaching video and
God, and it's dull and boring. God, he's so boring.
Me, when I first started coming to church here, and they've told Pastor and several other people, you know, your church will never be anything. You'll never make a difference. Durand is one of the hardest cases to crack, because it is.
No, they're just stricken with fucking poverty. Like everybody tells me that, yeah, his area of Michigan that he lives in is super fucking poor, so it should be really easy for him to have a church. So if you're failing in a poverty-stricken area with your church,
Which Amway got there first.
Yeah.
And then the Juggalos came. Sorry.
And look at what we see happening. In fact, last Sunday night, somebody that Corbin led to Christ out soul winning came to church. He came to church. And I asked him, I said, well, why'd you come here tonight? He says, because I was so excited. Somebody knocked my door and told me how to be saved.
No, they didn't.
Remember,
they didn't. And if they did, they're going to be very disappointed.
Alex, I'll take things that never happened for 1,000.
That excited him. And let me tell you something, folks. There are people out there that are wondering what you have to do to go to heaven. And let me tell you something. We have the answer. And that's why you have bold men like Jonathan Guzman. That's why you have bold men like Corbin Brock and Bryce Rood and Eric.
Guzman's like 9, dude. He's not a fucking
He's
man.
like 9, and he has no idea what he's talking about. Neither do you.
And I find it interesting that he steps out from behind the pulpit and he's still mic'd. It's like, oh, okay, you have a lapel mic. Why are you even fucking having that microphone on the stand there? That's a dumb prop. It's not even plugged in.
You're right. And Tucker, Kelly, and all these people that are here tonight that are excited about serving God. That excites me. You know, Jesus was not some pot-smoking hippie.
Oh, yeah, this is where
There's a reason why they nailed him to the cross. Have you guys noticed?
There's a reason he nailed
I was telling you about the movie JC, where JC was smoking marijuana, and what they did, they made a crown of beer tabs around him instead of the crown of thorns.
Well, that's a good. That's recycling. That's good.
I've only heard a little bit of you telling me about the JC movie, but I'm picturing in my brain Jesus Christ playing the Lobo character from DC Comics. That'd be great, but it's not going to happen. But anyway, I wanted him to get to more of this Jesus stuff because I forgot why I picked this video. So hang on.
That's how, you know, every time somebody gets criticized in the world, it's because they're telling the truth. Or they're
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
No.
People
That's not how it works.
Like, okay, if you're going after somebody personally, yeah, I mean, it could be any fucking reason. But when you're going after what they're talking about, usually you're not making it personal. You're trying to like debate the topics with these people. So just because you're right, people are going to come after you. No.
Up or they're making a loud voice. People always tell me you shouldn't yell when you preach. Well, you know what God's word tells me? God's word says lift up your voice like a trumpet. Is a trumpet just a little, he didn't say lift up your voice like a kazoo. Lift up your...
But you kind of have to hum to do the kazoo, so. I think, Matt, you'd be great at the kazoo. Not saying anything beyond that.
Voice like a little violin. No, he says lift up your voice like a trumpet and declare unto my people their sins. So don't ever let anybody tell you that you're not making a difference, because let me tell you something. There are people out there that want you to think you're not making a difference for God. They want you to think that, nothing you do is ever going to change anything. Nothing that you ever do is going to make a difference. While the same people that make those statements have failed themselves. You know what? Sometimes misery loves company.
I'm done. That's enough.
No, it's terrible.
You couldn't even go down a cogent route of like trying to make a different kind of argument or anything. You're just like,
no. Go back to that whole being saved thing and saying that you have the answers. What? Okay, that seems like a good line. That seems like a good line of thought there. Why not actually share that? And no, we have the answers. On to the next topic.
Yes, the next topic will be vote Republican.
And we have your answers for 4 easy payments.
We only take 10% gross, not net, gross.
Oh no, don't forget that sacrificial giving you're supposed to be doing, like a love offering.
So in like, what are we gonna call it? Like in 5 years, he's gonna be a prosperity gospel guy. You think that's what's gonna happen?
I'm sure.
Oh, look. It's only a matter of time before he starts quoting Ayn Rand from the pulpit.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I kid you not.
He would have to be able to read it first.
Oh no. The very last church service I went to, I was forced to go to, it was 1986, and the guy had in the church bulletin 3 postcards with senators and congressmen, and he was preaching about how we need to go away with we need to get rid of the capital gains tax. And from the pulpit, he recited part of Atlas Shrugged.
That's wrong.
That's such a terrible.
Wrong on so many goddamn levels. So that's Matt Powell. We could go further. We could keep doing more, but honestly, I don't give a fuck enough about this guy. I mean, I gave you 4 minutes of a 5.5-minute sermon, and were you guys able to walk away with anything from that sermon? Like I've been to church lots of times as a kid, and sometimes the sermon actually touched a nerve and hit something where you're like, yeah, I do need to be a better person. I do need to work on things. He's talking about soul winning and saving people from hellfire, but at the same time, all the other videos that I've seen on his channel are like, this person is a heretic. They deserve to be shunned, and the Hebrew roots movement and all this other shit. And like, I don't fucking care, Matt.
Usually at least half of all of his sermons are he's in self-defense mode. He has to justify what he's doing or what he's saying.
Yeah, you notice how Christian denominations split like socialist or political organizations. Mm-hmm. They all bust into their own faction.
Yep, they definitely do.
I mean, there's even a first and second church of Shatnerology.
All right, I hit the stop button. I'm gonna take a quick little pee break and check and make sure everything's syncing up good over here.
Okay,
and then we'll be right back. So let me find something for folks to listen to, and I'm gonna cut off my mic real quick.
So you like donuts, eh? Uh-huh. Well, have all the donuts in the world!
More.
I don't understand it. James Coco went mad in 15 minutes.
All right. Let's get to all the other fun stuff. Oh, somebody just at your level, Joe, on Patreon. That's great. That's so weird. Somebody else just joined the top tier of patrons. Like goddamn.
Whoa! I just checked my Powerball ticket. Hold on. I got 2 in Powerball. Oh, I got $7 whole on Powerball.
That's enough to buy.
Sorry, guys. Hey, look, I'm trying to figure out some way to do creative finance. Hey, I'm not interrupting you guys, am I?
No.
Okay, everything's cool. I just wanted to make sure, man. I didn't.
Somebody just sent me a weird thing. It's nice to meet you. I've watched your last uploaded video on YouTube. Nice vid. Anyone agrees. Cool. I'm about to do a reshare of your video, Science Falsely So Called, on my YouTube famous network where you can get thousands of new fans. Follow the link in attached picture best.
Well, I found you guys through
Spam.
Little Footballs. There's one guy in there who was posting your clip, and that's how I came to discover you guys.
How nice! I love it when people share my stuff around.
And they just put it in the comments because I just stumbled on Little Green Footballs, and that's generally where I hang out anymore. I used to be on Daily Coast till I gave up on that.
All right, let's see. All right, let's get the intro out of the way. And I'm not delayed anymore. The patron show was delayed. I'm like, God damn it! Like just like a second or two. Like not even a second. Like 10 frames at the most. Just enough to annoy the shit out of me. That's all. All right, here we go. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Utah Outcasts, the politics and religion podcast that always wants to make sure that we have consent. How are y'all doing out there in the big wide world? I'll be your captain for this episode. I go by the name of X, and this is episode number 238. Yeah, I think that's about right. And whether you're a new listener or someone who's been with us for the near 4 years we've been doing the show, I think I speak for everyone when I say that we're so glad to have you along for the ride. Joining me tonight, we have my co-host, Kyle Steenblick, who is tired as all fucking get out from his...
Yes. And
we have our special guest host who paid for the privilege of being here. We have Joe Bacon. Welcome, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, Rex.
Okay, so hey, you two. Have you guys been up to anything in particular this past week that you would love to share with the audience? I've got my own story of adventuring on vacations and stuff that I'm going to talk about a little bit. But how about you two? Is there anything going on in your world that you want to bring up? Kyle, why don't you get us started with what you've been doing this weekend that... with all of the energy vampires of the world.
All the energy vampires. So there was a convention. It's a small little convention here in Utah.
Not to interrupt too much, but Goop sells a spray for that. Sorry. Go ahead.
So it's called Wizarding Days. So it's a small, mostly like kid centric convention. Wizard fantasy, a little bit of sci-fi here and there, but it's mostly like fantasy type stuff. But it's a fun little convention.
Oh, that's the one where I saw the BBW mermaids. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, they've got those.
Yeah.
The BBW mermaids.
Well, yeah. Okay. So you think mermaids and you think Ariel, Little Mermaid kind of thing, or you think like, svelte kind of people, and you've got some ladies that are just making that spandex work every ounce of what it can. And I'm not shaming because I love a big woman. So it's just,
I've actually, because they go to a lot of these local shows and conventions. I've actually gotten to know a few of them.
It's super fucking nice ladies.
And they're super nice. They're wonderful people, and they do it. They raise money for charities.
Oh, and they're always willing to pose for pictures with my kids, and I like them quite a bit. So I'm just giving them a little bit of shit. That's all.
So, but I got a table at this convention. to try to put my book out there a little bit more. You know, hey, let's recoup some expenses.
So, and as far as the state of Utah knows, you sold not a single copy of that book the entire weekend. Wink. Oh, wink. Oh, I'm fucking with you. Sorry.
No. Yeah, I mean, long story short is I now owe more in taxes than Amazon, who has sold more books of mine than I've sold.
Oh, didn't you
and
know
I have to pay more taxes on that.
when you're a big business owner,
Sure.
all of the money that you make trickles down into the working class.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course.
Well, remember, folks, we live in a golden society.
Oh yeah, we do.
That's right. Rich get golden parachutes. Everybody else gets the golden shower.
But selling things at a convention is exhausting.
It's got to be a special level of hell.
It is. Really, it is a special level of hell, and I'm trying to sell stuff. My book it's a kid's book, so I'm trying to sell things to kids and their parents by extension. Basically, I'm trying to make the kid ask the parent to buy the book, which usually works out pretty well. You just tell the kid about the book, and you get them excited, and then the kid wants to buy the book. It doesn't always work very well sometimes, because there are a lot of people who they get they'll win a free ticket to the convention, or they'll go, hey, this is only going to cost me like $20 to get my 37 kids in, and the second they are presented with, hey, thanks for paying to get in here, now give us more money.
Yeah.
Yeah. They can get a little upset. How dare you try to sell things to kids? I'm sorry. I'm trying to sell my book.
That still remains to be the only convention I've been to where my credit card got locked up. Like my debit card got locked up after buying a couple of things. I'm like, what? Oh, right. But because a lot of the vendors that are there are from other states. And so when they see your credit information bouncing around from like Vermont to California over to like Wisconsin or something like that, they're like, yeah, something's going on here. So
well, just count your blessings that it didn't bounce like to Nigeria, where you could have gotten a letter saying that you won the lotto.
$9 billion.
Oh, if we could only be so lucky. You know how many of those emails I've responded to? Not one has come. Not one.
Oh, speaking of which, I did get another one of those, we know what porn you've been watching kind of emails that came in, but this one was slightly worse English. So it's we know what jollies you've been giving yourself in the proper time where I'm like, no, if you were distinct enough to say like, we got a video of you wanking in the shower. Like, okay, that's pretty specific, It's like,
yeah.
Even though that's a guess. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm wanking in the rain.
Well, what else are you supposed to do in the rain? I mean, really?
Don't ask. There's always something.
There's always a something. But yeah, I spent the last 2 days, like 10, 12 hours each day, doing nothing but just talking to kids.
Buy my book.
And I want to die.
Buy his book. And then you have to come here and do this, goddamn.
And then I have to come here and do this. But no, it was a lot of fun. They had things set up. They had like a scavenger hunt for all the guests, for all the people who came in. They check in. They get a sheet of paper with the names of all of these vendors, and you have to go find them. And then we have to ask you questions, or ask you to sing a song, and then give you a little stamp on your card. And once you get it filled up, you go win a prize. So it's actually a really fun way that this convention encourages people to actually visit the booths.
That's cool. It sounds a lot better than the Star Trek conventions I used to go to when I was in college.
Oh, those weren't real conventions. Those were just people in costumes.
Well, if you're cosplaying a Ferengi, why not have a fucking merch booth set up somewhere?
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, this was before Ferengis, man. Gene Roddenberry didn't even have this idea until the 80s.
The 45th rule of acquisition is.
Oh, you would think that people would be okay with stuff like that, but God, some of these parents, and it's just the parents. Occasionally,
this is Utah. Remind everybody, this is Utah.
This is Utah. Occasionally,
where free activities get ass loads of people going to them, but not a single drop of blood coming from that turnip at all, no matter how hard you squeeze it. So
every now and then, God damn it, every now and then, I would get a kid. Every now and then, I would get a kid come up with this game card, and you're like, okay, let me start asking you some questions and use your imagination to think stuff up. And the kid's just like, no. Can I just get a stamp, please?
And you just stamp like, no, fuck off.
Come on. Like, I know you're not going to buy anything. At least, no, you're just going to be a little shit. Fine, take a stamp, go away.
Maybe you should have had some Girl Scout cookies there, man.
No, because that would have been more money spent.
Yeah, I would have had to pay for the booth and then the cookies.
So, Joe, what about yourself, man? You been up to anything this past week? Anything interesting?
We had snow on Thursday.
In LA, guys.
Snow. Holy crap. That's normal, right? That's normal. That happens.
And we're not talking about like Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye and White Christmas singing about snow on the train. It may have lasted only about 2 minutes in the part of the city I'm in. Others got a nice little dusting, you know. Oh, and the other thing, I did my income taxes.
Oh.
Hey, are you
not getting anything year? Back?
Well, I got a big tax cut, guys. I got 95 whole dollars of a tax cut. And my tax man told me, hey, that's enough. Like, you can go once a month to McDonald's and get a supersized Big Mac meal. My refund, I actually got a refund. $198, which is a severe slice from what it used to be. Lots of my coworkers, though, are getting, shall we say, assaulted. They're owing a couple thousand.
See, I lucked out, and since Trump was at least gracious enough to double the child tax credit, I actually got a return this year. But if I didn't have kids, I would be paying a considerable sum of money back to the federal government.
You have my sympathies, X.
Yeah,
it's the least they could do for.
Yeah, that tax cut's working out real well for us.
You know, middle class people. You know,
oh yeah,
wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to get to what I went through this whole week, and I went to Disneyland. I went to Universal Studios on vacation for like a whole week. The hotel was nice. We were staying like 5 minutes away of a walk from where we were to the actual park opening at Disneyland, which is beautiful park, very well put together. Like, everything was nice and quality. But why the fuck does everybody make such a big deal out of Disneyland in general, or Disney World? I haven't been to Disney World. I've been to Disneyland. Maybe it's because the history behind the place. I don't know. It was like one of the first like big American theme park kind of things, but it's not even that. But I don't get it. I didn't fucking get it the whole time I was there. And we went in the off season. February is very much off season when we went there, and we did the primary of our like 3-day visit that we had there on days where there shouldn't be that many people there. There was still a fuck ton of people that went to Disneyland on those days. I mean, admittedly,
it's always going to be a little bit crowded.
Yeah, going to California Adventure, there's less people there, so you're able to usually get on stuff a little bit easier because you have the park hopper passes, and it's kind of nice. But it was way too fucking expensive for everything that you got to do. It was, I don't understand people that make this their lifestyle. I don't know why people like make going to Disneyland like a life changing kind of thing. Like, we need to go every 3 months. I have people I know that go like every 3 months to Disneyland. It's like, Jesus Christ, why?
They do sell the annual pass here, but you have to be living in the Southern California area.
Yeah.
And it's a reduced price, and it's good for the whole year.
Yeah, and I can understand that because I buy the yearly passes for the amusement park we have here in Utah. And that's only like a 4-mile drive from where I live to go there. And it's essentially the same goddamn thing. But like the fast pass system was just utterly stupid. It was just fucking stupid because it's like, oh, hey, you have a fast pass and you paid the extra so you could do it on the app. It's like, okay, great. I'm going to plan out my next ride. Okay, I planned out my next ride. You have to wait an hour for that. And then you can only like put in the next ride fast pass after you've gone on that ride, or, you know, after like 45 minutes or something. And it's like, and then the next ride I want to go on is another hour and a half away. So it's like, only thing that you're saving me is having to actually stand in the queue. That's all that you're saving.
Yeah, I'd rather stand in the queue for the most part.
I don't fucking get it. And anybody that's willing to stand in a queue for 60 minutes, 80 minutes, and I saw that the Cars ride at California Adventure had like a 6-hour fucking wait. I don't understand anybody on this planet that would wait 6 hours to ride like a 3-minute thrill ride.
Try voting here in Los Angeles for the line last November. Okay, I got in line at 6 a.m. I didn't realize we had around 1,000 people in our precinct and only one precinct book. And we only had 2 booths, and you had to sit there and wait your turn to vote.
Well, it wouldn't be so bad if you'd all stopped voting twice.
And getting those illegal immigrants to vote for you too. I mean, Jesus Christ, guys!
Yeah,
come on.
quit bussing all the illegals in to vote. Yeah.
But bringing all those Canadians down to vote for all these fucking liberals. I mean, stop it.
Liberals. I thought Canada had the new Democratic Party, you know, the Democrat Socialist, you know.
Yeah, so the cost of everything was crazy. I got huge fucking blisters on my feet, and which is weird because like I decided to eat whatever the fuck I wanted to while I was there, but I feel like even though I walked like 7 miles a day, I still gained like 13 pounds or some crazy fucking number like that. And I've got more. This is going to trickle down for like the next couple of weeks on the show. I'm going to talk more about this because I just don't understand. I don't understand the appeal, and maybe that's just me. But anyway, we've got a lot to get to. We're going to go ahead and drop you off at our first commercial break, and we'll be right back with more of the show. There, hit stop, and then comments from trolls. Here we go. It's time once again for that wonderful segment called Comments from Trolls. And I think this is episode number 51, 52 or something like that. Some crazy number that we've got this time. The first comment that I have here, 52 is what it says in the notes. Yeah, the first one that we have here is from a guy named Jabir Hokey or Okwa. I don't know. He has all of 22 subscribers, and he says, this is all about a Lady Gaga video I made where somebody was still mad that Gaga did a Super Bowl performance, and they are calling it like a...
Oh, they're still mad about that?
Yeah, they're trying to say like she was trying to summon devils and stuff, and like even people that saw the Maroon 5 performance said the same thing, and it's like, well, you guys are just pissed off at rock and roll in general. Like you're still living that footloose way of things. He says, if Gaga is a Satanist, oh, that's what it was, because they said that Lady Gaga is a Satanist, even though she said that she's Catholic so many times.
Well, you know, some people think that's the same thing there.
Yeah, that's true. But then you are too. Joke's on them. I am a Satanist. Because you are not a Muslim. Okay. I'm not. You're right. I'm not Muslim. Good job.
That doesn't even make sense, but sure, let's go with it.
If you're not Muslim, then you're Satanist. Okay, wonderful. So Jesus is not dead yet. When he will come back again to kill Dajjal, the leader of the Illuminati, Satan.
So when we're getting deep, we're getting deep into it.
So when Jesus will come back, he will kill all Illuminati members, including all non-Muslims. All of them. Just all. What if I've been paying the fucking jizya tax where it's like I'm supposed to be able to live in the Muslim country? It's like,
wait,
is he going to come back and kill me anyway? You know.
Why would Jesus come back and kill all the what?
Oh, JC still remembers what happens the last time. He ain't coming back. He'll stay in Alpha Centauri with the Howard Johnsons and eat all the Tennessee wheat fried clams that he wants with the Hojo Cola.
Now, if I remember right, in Islam, Jesus's other name, well, the name that they call him in that religion is Isa, and they don't believe that he was crucified. They do believe he was a prophet.
Yeah,
and they don't think he was the Messiah, though.
No.
So anyway, he says, we'll be killing all non-Muslims and pigs.
Why the pigs? Leave the pigs alone. Well, no, I mean
shellfish.
Bacon, but oh yeah.
And then he warns me at the very end here. So get your ass ready. Like, what is don't bring my donkey into this, you fucking assholes.
Wait, I thought he was just gonna kill us. Why do we need to get the ass ready?
And then we had a handful of people, because we started doing some Liz Crokin stuff, and it's funny because people will actually drive by comment. And Kevin Joseph is this guy, and he's been leaving. I see. So on the dashboard side of YouTube, you see all the comments come in as they stack in at the time codes and stuff. So I've got all these comments from Kevin Joseph, and they are within minutes of each other on a slew of different Liz Crokin videos that I put out there. And so, dude, what do you think's going to happen? You're going to keep getting more of my of the Utah Outcast shit served to you. It's like, especially since you watched it and you commented on it. So therefore, YouTube's going, give him more of this.
I hope he also disliked the videos.
That'd be great. So the first one, he just goes, "We love Liz, LUV. We love Liz." And then the next comment, he's starting to get more comfortable in his trollishness. He's like, "I'm not a churchgoer. I find self-righteous atheists a bore."
Good.
Or worse.
Okay.
Well, wait a second. We got a logic.
There's a logic malfunction.
Doesn't go to church. I'm trying to get this working through my RAM plates here.
It'll take a minute.
You're going to be there for a minute. So let me get to the next one here. It's like, what should happen and what will happen are two different thingies.
Oh, that's true.
Well, yeah, can't argue with that.
Regarding a Liz Crokin video, this is a different one. This is the third Liz Crokin video, and this is the one that he settles in for a couple of more comments that he's going to leave us here. Is like, "Love to Liz," all uppercase letters here. It's like LOV to Liz.
I don't think she's going to see that here.
No, and Kevin then continues by saying arrests, because they're always touting how many people are going to be arrested for kitty diddling and all that other, I won't say fun activities, because that's not fun. That's not fun at all.
No, that's the wrong word.
It's not nice to.
Don't touch the kids. They don't want your touch. So he says arrests, wiener.
Well, he was already arrested.
Yeah, he got arrested for the things he did. Yeah.
Brian Singer, he says, is the next one.
Nope, I agree there. Yep.
Yeah.
That actress. That's all he says. That actress.
Roseanne?
Which actress?
That actress, and then he comments, and then he says Nexium. I don't know what that fucking means.
I don't know what that
Nexium is
the medicine commercial.
No. It's part of the Q theory. And Nexium is Nexium is a group that supposedly is doing the naughty thing in the basement of Comet Pizza.
Oh, I like seeing the video of the guy getting arrested that came out when they let him out of handcuffs and everything.
What got me angry about that video is, sure, they cuffed him, then they took the cuffs off.
and they let him put his hands in his pockets like everything's okay. Okay, so he says Miss Bronfman, I don't know who that is, and many others.
Bronfman, who used to own Universal. Bronfman.
Oh, right. Okay.
He says nothing about the Patriots owner that got arrested this week for prostitution and shit. Needless to say, he doesn't say anything about any of the other religious groups that have thousands and thousands of child sex trafficking people that have happened against them.
I mean, when it comes to Kraft, I mean, hey, he's got $6 billion and he had to pay $79 at a massage parlor so somebody could do the ding dong thing with him. I mean, if I had enough money, he could have at least bought a Venus 2000.
But just save.
I mean, that would have been good. I mean, the only problem I have with that whole Kraft situation is the fact that those massage parlors are sex trafficking hubs. They're a problem. They're a problem.
Yeah, but and what got me was how Michael Smerconish was there defending Kraft.
Yeah, no. that doesn't work.
You guys will have to remind me if I don't put it in comments, and I'm probably not going to remember to put it in the comments or at least in the show notes here that there was a really funny episode of the Geek Dad Report where my friend Brian was talking about going to a massage place like this, not realizing that it was that kind of place where he was that was gonna happen. And he's telling his story of like getting just a regular massage, and then all of a sudden she rips his like boxers off and she starts like kneading his ass like hard-boiled eggs, like just going fucking hardcore into it. And then like she has him flip over. She's like, "You want me to take care of that?" And he's just like, "No, no, no. I just wanted a fucking massage."
I'm so glad I belong to the YMCA and I just simply can sit in the heated pool. That'll work for me.
Okay, so he says and many others, that is 5. Whatever. What? And then the last comment that he has here is you -- 5,000 subscribers. It's 5,700. Get it right, you fucking prick. Liz ... 50,000. I sense envy here. No, I don't. I have no envy towards Liz Crokin.
No envy at all.
I'm telling you, she done got the clinker in her thinker.
She's just
that's just that's maybe how many she has at the moment.
But here's the kicker.
until her channel is probably going to be kicked off.
Yeah, I know. They just threw a whole bunch of anti-vaxxers off of YouTube.
And flat earthers and conspiracy theorists. So they're starting to get all demonetized and shit. And it's like, cool. And everybody's like, well, aren't you for free speech? Yeah, I'm for free speech. But it's their company, their platform. They can do what they will.
That's not free speech. That
get to a day where they're like, Utah Outcast, you can see yourself out. We're like, well, we don't really have any recourse here. Let's see if we can somehow do this on the website. We have ways of making it work. So yeah, no envy here because she's got the wrong type of people following her stuff. And I'd much rather have smart people like Joe here joining us on shows. So yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I feel like I'm channeling Elvis right now, guys. I need that peanut butter and banana sandwich, and I gotta put on the ghee. Yeah.
You're gonna just don't become the Elvis meme where you're like you just die on the toilet with the sandwich in your hand.
Yeah, don't take the sandwich in the bathroom. Just don't.
No, I'll take the I'll take the perfect.
It'll wait for you.
Oh, eating in the bathroom. That's a whole other video. We can make one of these things.
Brings back memories of college.
Yeah.
It brings back memories of being a parent of a young child. Where this is the only safe space I have left. I just want to eat my bowl of cereal.
Yeah, you're Al Bundy too, just like me.
All right, hit stop on that one. Let's see, what else do we got? Sorry for the running through things, everybody. We're just trying to get as much done as we can in the next 40 minutes. I'm not sure how much of a freshness date I've got left for the evening. Okay, let's do the Ark Encounter one because we have to get that one done. Here we go. Okay, we got this from the Friendly Atheist blog at pathos.com. However, this does come to us also from the same source that Hemet Meta has here, where we got Dan Phelps sends us an email every week, but I wanted to get the actual article because I couldn't figure out a positive way to spin this thing. And like we should do every single time, we need to make sure that we report even the successes, no matter how mild they may be with the Ark Encounter. It's our job to let you know what the attendance numbers are. So because
we started down this road,
and we're going to keep going.
We got to see it through.
So anyway, for the second straight month here that Hemet Meta says, there's been a slight uptick in attendance at the Ark Encounter compared to the same time for the previous year. So thanks to the public record request by the paleontologist Dan Phelps, he dug up the numbers. He brought up the numbers where January for 2018, using the public safety tax that they had out there, there were 13,250 tickets sold in 2018. In 2019, you have 14,885, which is an increase of 1,600 visitors over the previous year.
One question. I just have this one question.
Yeah.
Has the amount that they owe in the public tax gone up at all? Because I know they don't report the actual number of tickets, so it has to be, you kind of have to work this backwards by the amount.
Yeah, and see, this is what he's collected and extrapolated from the safety fee that they got. And so since it's 50 cents per ticket that they sell, he just multiplies that by 2 essentially, and you get how many tickets were actually sold. You just gotta shift over things.
Unless the city, bumped the fee up.
I'm curious, how much is the ticket cost to go to this?
Way too much.
Not Disneyland levels, but we're talking, I think it's over $40, $50 or something like that. Especially considering you got to pay for
it's major amusement park levels.
Exactly. That face says it all. So what Hemet here says in the article is that the low overall number isn't that all that surprising, considering that it's still the middle of winter, which is bad for theme parks in general. But keep in mind that creationist Ken Ham has also made a big deal about the new Glice skating rink. I'm not using what he said. He said ice skating rink, but it's Glice. It's one of those sheets of plastic with a thing sprayed on top of it, so you glide across it. It's made out of the same shit like the butcher block stuff is made out of. Where
basically, yeah, it's all it really means is they don't need to maintain the surface.
Yeah, you don't have to get a Zamboni or anything. So
right.
He says it's unclear how many people visited the Ark for the skating and not so much to learn about Noah. Because, if you think about it, it's a pretty big ice skating rink. And so maybe some people would want to go there for ice skating. Maybe.
Well, sure. If there's nothing else, there's nothing else.
And he did have free nights around Christmas and stuff too. But we're in January, so never mind. That doesn't really count. He says, but I find it hard to believe the rink is worth a mere 1,635 additional visitors. So
let me guess, they rented the skates out, huh?
I'm sure they did.
Oh,
I'm sure they did. So slight uptick, but I still don't think near enough to keep those guys in the in business for forever. So you're talking about only having 1,600 people from over of what you had last year, considering that you've put in all this new stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes out for February, and February is almost over. So maybe we'll get there pretty soon.
And who knows, maybe there was an uptick because lots of people were out of work.
Yeah, I can imagine a bunch of furloughed federal employees.
I'm sure they really
go to the Ark.
We got nothing else to do.
Maybe Ken offered him seriously discounted tickets.
Yes,
lots of people had time off, so they went, "Hey, let's finally go use these."
Bucks off the price.
Okay, stopped on that one. Let's see. Let me make sure I mark that's done. Oh my gosh, you having fun, Joe? You doing all right?
Hey, fella, I'm fine. I just enjoyed talking with you guys.
It's a different.
That's what this is. Yeah,
that's completely different game. Being on the talky part of it instead of the typey part of it. So
hey, I just want to make sure I'm not interrupting you guys.
No,
you're not, Felicia. I kid Felicia. But seriously, she interrupts. But we love her for that. So that's the funny bit.
Well, I mean, she's a fellow Zeppo Marxist like myself. I always say I'm a Zeppo Marxist because the Marx Brothers films with Zeppo were the best.
All right. Let's see. What's the next one that we're going to do here? Oh, yeah. Let me bring up the Pat Robertson thing.
Oh, good.
No.
Did I save this one? I did not. I need to go in the article and find it real quick. Where did I put it? Oh, that's not it.
I saw the Pat Robertson thing in your note.
Yeah, that's in the. Did I put it?
It's never a good sign when you see that name in the notes.
Oh, please!
He brings a lot of people to the channel, though. So.
His milkshake brings all the boys to the Ark.
Precisely.
That ain't all. I mean, my sister Cindy and her husband were completely brainwashed by that pulpit pimp. They tithed to him.
Oh God, that's
even to the point that they actually didn't pay their income taxes because they made a sacrificial offering, and the IRS got involved with them.
Okay, so here we go. Pat Robertson is back. I mean, amazingly, he's still doing the 700 Club.
Still kicking.
Whatever the fuck his show is called nowadays. Oh, it is still the 700 Club, according to the article here. Thanks to him and Meta from the Friendly Atheist for sharing us this video at the proper timestamp, because I am not about to sit through 46 minutes of Pat Robertson's show.
Thank you. Thank you, Hammett.
No, please.
So on this episode of the 700 Club from February 21st, 2019, Pat Robertson was asked whether or not Jesus was gay.
Well, he did hang around with, you know.
Gay, so I mean, you know.
So
there wasn't. Let's just say, I mean, he hung around with, you know, 12 or 13 other guys, one woman, and there wasn't a lot to do. So we can draw conclusions.
Yeah, it says here
they're playing poker.
Yeah, there was lots of poker. I mean, the wine flowed freely.
Those who suggest this theory point to a Bible passage that talks about a, quote, disciple whom Jesus loved, or a joke about how the unmarried Jesus hung out with all of those men. So Robertson doesn't address any of this. So instead, I'm going to let him talk instead of me talking about this. So I was going to read it out, but I was like, you know what? We got the ability to put video in here. We might as well. So here's Pat Robertson.
This is Natalie, who says, I have family members thinking and saying Jesus Christ was gay. Where are they getting this from? Are they just so away from the truth of the Bible that their thoughts are mistaken? What part of the Bible should I tell them about to help them with this misconception? I have never seen anything written in the Bible that would prove their thoughts and comments to be true.
There's none whatsoever. You know, I hate to.
But he's hanging out with all those guys.
Well, there's actually none that go either way.
Yeah. All right. So I'm Limb Dog. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
To say, but the homosexual agenda has gotten so pervasive, it has taken the thought processes of colleges, universities, all the way up and down the line. Oh,
so there's two very specific examples that you brought up here. Colleges and universities and everything else in between is what
everything else in between.
Wait a second. Does that mean Pat's own college and university and law school have
No, because those aren't real colleges and universities.
No, those don't count. But he goes off on another path. Hang on.
Bathrooms and all the transgender and so forth. And I just think it is a lie from the
transgender
devil. Jesus Christ,
Sorry, I mean, keep him to pause. Let me rewind that, because the transgender.
Who is the transgender?
Oh, that's a good way of shortening it. That's a good portmanteau. The transsexual, or I'm sorry, the transgender. Sorry, not sexual. The transgender agenda. The transgender. That works. Yeah, I like that.
Transgender and so forth. And I just think it is a lie from the devil. Jesus Christ, was the perfect man. He never.
Okay, well, arms,
no,
and a 13-inch cock.
Yeah, we know. We just want to point out that there was.
He couldn't. Now stop and think about it. Okay, I mean, mom, she gave JC all of her chromosomes, and I don't think the big G gave any chromosomes. So that means that probably JC was the first TS.
That's there's, I mean, yeah, that's kind of how it would work with an immaculate conception.
Now, and I'm only saying this because I know I'm going to get shitty comments about it. The Immaculate Conception talks about how Mary was conceived, not Jesus. So I just don't want to. I want to head this off from the past, so people don't bring this shit up in the comments. It's like, yes, we know. It's the commonly used thing that we talk about on this. So anyway, the perfect man. Jesus was the perfect man.
The perfect man with 2 X chromosomes.
But even if you if you didn't want to go down the line of, if God actually impregnated her with something, you could go the let's just say if it was a God. Let's just say Guardians of the Galaxy 2, where you have the small G God of Ego, the living planet, still had sex with Peter Quill's mom. But we're talking comic book characters, not a fucking savior of the fucking universe. Wait a minute. I'm confused, because Peter Quill kind of is the savior of.
Well, no. I mean, he wasn't. I mean, he totally screwed over half the universe. That's.
And you listen to Robertson. I mean, you listen to him talking. This guy sounds like he hasn't had a successful encounter on the toilet bowl for the past 10 years. It's like,
Now, hang on, I do a lot of business at the toilet bowl. Which one are we talking about here? What kind of transaction?
Matt Robertson on the
take your pick.
Listen to Matt on the toilet bowl. It sounds like he's straining there from the hands.
The AIDS ring that they're going to stab you with, the inward turned ring that has a needle on it, and that's the same guy we're talking about here. People, hang on.
Never sinned in the whole time he lived, and he obviously wasn't engaged with any relationship with any fellow man. And there's no.
Someone's mad for no reason. Someone's so goddamn mad.
So mad. But what? Okay,
like JC apostles were the original village people.
Right. So there are 2 things. I mean, first, Pat said that this was a lie from the devil, but there's absolutely nothing in the Bible that you could point to that showed the devil ever lying.
That's true. And you've also got the fact that he said that he never sinned in the whole time that he lived. Jesus did.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that's not true.
I'm pretty sure he did sin at some point. There's no way he went his whole entire life without any kind of sin.
Look, he was a 13-year-old boy at some point in time.
Pulling his butt. Anyway, let's see what else he's going to say.
No support for that in the Bible whatsoever. Nothing in history, nothing whatsoever, but it is a fiction that is created by the tiny minority who are.
He almost said majority. He was close to saying majority.
He was close, and he probably would have been closer to correct if he had.
Yeah, I mean, we subscribe on Utah Outcasts to the idea that you're all a little bit bi. You're just not willing to admit it.
Maybe Pat needs to start eating those jellyfish pills to boost his brain. What's left of it?
Brain force. Or give him some, God, what is the one that Mike Cernovich was selling? Oh, Gorilla Mind. That's the one.
Gorilla My Dream.
Or in that LGB, all those numbers.
Letters, yeah. LGBT.
LGB and all those
Thank you, Q. The Q for queer at the end. Okay.
LGB and all those numbers.
Q for queer. Now that sounds like the name of a punk band back in the 80s.
She had to correct him. She's like,
but letters. She didn't even.
I'm a member of the LGB 123.
LGB pal.
LGB, easy as ABC, easy as do re mi.
And then he finally remembered the he remembered the Q, and he's like, "Oh right, the Q for queer at the end." Okay, he's like,
yeah. And of course, he left out the T.
Yeah, of course, because those people don't exist. That's just weird people that want to use your girl's bathroom. That's not what I really think, everybody. I'm just saying that that's the kind of shit that Pat Robertson says. Jesus Christ, lighten up.
But that's what it is. There's no foundation whatsoever.
Okay, this is.
He sounds so true. There's no foundation whatsoever.
Oh man, he sounds like Floyd the barber wanting to give Andy a haircut. Oh.
Well, those
that's a deep cut right there.
A deep cut. You know, every one of those Mayberry haircuts came with a so you know, Barney wasn't the only person polishing pistols in the town. So
is this a full service barbershop?
Well, Jim Neighbors would like to come over and talk to you about that for a second.
Oh, does that shave
Shazam,
come with that?
Shazam.
And he says Shazam and he turns into Captain Marvel.
With a lovely singing voice.
Yeah, and he goes, Shazam, Shazam. Oh, it's Captain Marvel here.
That's not what I meant by a hot shave.
One of the Shazam characters, because it's an acronym of like all the other like superhero abilities, like like Z stands for like Zeus or something, but like is one of those like I don't know, 13-inch cock of Dionysus, you know, kind of. It's probably a female god. I don't even remember. It's okay. Let's go with Balder, the 13-inch cock of Balder. There you go. All right.
But John C. Holmes was bigger, you know.
I mean, well, no, really. I mean, it would be a Mephistophelian cock. That's
that M would work better. Yeah, there you go. Oh, did you just make a John Holmes reference? Jesus, man.
Maybe.
I did.
I worked with the John Holmes, and he made it known every fucking day at work. He's like, you know, I share a name with a porn star. It's like, you fucking creeper. Nobody cares about that. Why do you keep bringing this up, you fucking weirdo?
Because he's inadequate.
Probably. Let's see. I don't want to do the Clarence Thomas one. I don't want to do the Alabama fucking KKK must write again shit.
Oh, you know what happened? The latest thing with that Alabama KKK? The editor was bounced and he was replaced with a black woman.
Good for them. All right, let me see. What do we got next? No, Pat Robertson, go away. Let's do the Rick Wiles one. Oh, fucking seltzer water. Goddamn.
I am very.
And
I saw this. I looked at this Rick Wiles thing.
He's an asshole. I hate him so much.
No, he's a b-hole. He doesn't have what it takes to be an a-hole.
All right, so we've got a Rick Wiles video where, if you remember the video that I did the previous week, I did one where Coach Dave was giving Trump a lot of leeway for the fact that he was talking about, okay, Trump wasn't talking about decriminalizing homosexuality across the world. It was like his people in his party were talking about it. And it's like, they came up to Trump and they said, hey, what's this about decriminalizing homosexuality? He's like, what? I have no idea what you're talking about. So it's just funny that they hear this one little thing and they start losing their goddamn minds. And by they, I'm talking about evangelical Christians that support Trump normally. So here's Rick Wiles, and he's going to do a little bit of a finger wag towards the president because he's like, I'm disappointed in you, son. Here we go.
I am very, very upset with President Donald J. Trump. And those of you who are Trump fanatics, you can get as mad as you want. I don't care. I am not a political flunky. I'm a preacher of the gospel. And I'm called by God to uphold righteousness and the word of God and the kingdom of God. This headline says, this is NBC News, Trump administration launches global effort to end criminalization of homosexuality.
Yes.
And so what's the big deal there, Rick? Why are you so mad about that? I mean, we kind of guess because you're a bigot, but I mean,
of course.
that's easy, but
I mean, and really, no credit for that should go to Trump.
This is something that a lot of countries have finally decided to band together and just be like, okay, well, we need to make sure that this is not a law on the books anymore because A, it's bad for tourism, and B, it's the right fucking thing to do with all of the people of the world.
It's bad for everybody. I mean, that and it's almost impossible to enforce.
Yeah, they tried doing that in Nigeria, and there was some horrible shit that was going on there. But I'm
American missionaries who.
I'm going to let Rick continue here.
Now, what is the evangelical base going to do? He's got an evangelical board of advisors. I could call out the names right now. I know a lot of them.
But he's not here in a second. But it's just funny to me. It's like, when was the last time you had a presidency where he had a board of evangelical advisors that were there in the White House? That's fucking gross, you know?
I'm sure Ronald Reagan had an astrologer.
Well, I mean, he's one of those crazy Hollywood types, you know? that chimp did some fucking damage to him in Bedtime for Bongo. So, I mean...
Oh, God.
Bongo or Bonzo? Bongo, wasn't it?
Bonzo.
Okay, got it. There we go. Let's get back to Rick so I can get past my gaffe there.
Call your names out. You know who you are. What are you going to do about it? You got access to the White House. Are you going to speak out? Reverend, pastor, ministry leader, you're on the White House Evangelical Advisory Board.
You notice how he hasn't called a single one of them out? He's like, I know names, but I'm not going to say the names because that might actually potentially hurt my audience. So I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. Thou shalt not take the name of Billy Graham Cracker in vain. Or
Ann Graham. Ann Graham Lotz is one of the people that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and don't forget Paula White.
Oh, it's Paula White. I was going to make a Paula Dean joke, but I couldn't make it work. So
the problem is there's only really one person in that administration that would listen to them, and it's not Trump.
No.
No, that's right.
And so I find it funny that what are you going to do, evangelical Christians? Well, you guys are going to continue to lockstep vote for Trump like you do with every fucking GOP candidate that comes your way. So that's your guy.
Are you going to speak out? I dare you. I challenge you. Will you speak out or will you be silent? What are you going to do? Because your silence is complicity. Are you afraid to tell President Trump the truth? Will you tell him that you will withhold political support if he goes down this route?
Those pastors shouldn't have.
Yeah, I can just imagine him endorsing Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah. I mean, who else are they going to support?
Right.
Because I think the Christians should tell him, you go this way, we're out. We're out of it. You're on your own.
over gay people, over decriminalizing homosexuality. It's like,
okay, I tell you what, you go your way and I'll go my way.
I got it.
Robert Jeffers of Dallas.
Bob Jeffers, there's one.
I thought you had lists of these names though.
There's a litany. It's the who's who.
Yeah, it's a who's who. There's like 40 of them.
They're not going to say anything because then you have to have a stance of what is right and what is wrong.
You know why?
That's not going to happen.
The real reason they won't say anything is because.
Just wait for the fucking turn on this one, guys.
Okay. The real agenda is Israel.
Yes. Wow.
Oh, thank you. At least he didn't call us bankers.
Well,
they'll get to it.
Hang on there. But here.
And they're not going to jeopardize their standing with the White House to get things done for Israel.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's the real reason.
Yes.
So they will look the other way about sin and keep their mouth shut. But I'm not going to be quiet. I'm telling Mr. Trump, you're going in the wrong direction. God cannot bless your administration. He cannot bless your administration.
Is that what you call this last 2 years of fucking tumult? You know, is God's intervening on his?
Please keep blessing the administration. They're doing so well.
So on March 1st, we're actually going to get the 3 different individual sessions where Michael Cohen is going to be talking to Congress about stuff. So, I mean, is that God working through in that case there? Now, I'm waiting for him to get to the last line here just because it has a lot of oomph to it. So hang on.
You are promoting something that God says is an abomination.
Yes.
It's God's chosen people. Okay? Yeah.
Right.
And so they're pushing the agenda because they have control of Washington.
Who has control of Washington?
Oh, man.
Hang on. Not the pastors, but it's another thing that people question all the time. Hang on.
Yeah, a 4-letter word.
Control of the Trump administration. Donald Trump is owned by the Jews.
Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Look, we trade the son of a bitch in for Baltic Avenue and Mediterranean Avenue. We trade him in for that.
I'd trade him in for a good bagel.
Or a good Knish.
Oh man.
I mean, hell, I'd trade him in for an old yesterday's bagel.
I would trade him in for a cold fucking latke. That's what I would do right now. I would trade him in for a dodgy bowl of matzah.
I'd trade him in for a Zonklon. Let's make a deal.
Jesus Christ, man. The Jews run Washington.
Yeah.
2019, people.
Sure.
And this is
I tell you what, there's a sure test on that. You just have all the men drop their pants, all the congressmen and senators drop their pants, you know. It's like Donald Trump can't count past 10 without taking off his socks and shoes. And if he drops his pants, he still can't get to 21.
Because acorns don't count. Oh, sorry, it's mushrooms. Mushrooms, that's right. Okay, we're done on that one. And let's see. We got time for one more. How long have we been going? Hour 37. That's enough of a Patron show. It doesn't need to be 3 hours fucking long.
No, it doesn't.
All right, and let's see. Josh Bernstein or Chris McDonald thinks AOC is satanic. Jim Baker saying that Trump has been saved many times. Paul and Morgan talking sex is a good one.
Oh God, Paul and Morgan. Why?
Oh.
That sells me right there. That's kind of what we.
All right, give me 30 seconds. I gotta go get some more water.
Let me get it set up.
The world we live in.
Tell me more, Mom. What's up, guys? How you doing? I'm Paul.
I'm Morgan.
And this is the Paul. New to this channel. We are making Christian advice videos.
Just messed up, okay? Like, no string. The guy, go home.
We believe that sex is a great thing. Mistake, you'll learn from those mistakes.
The guy, go home. Sleep with him.
And even if you make a little bit of a mistake, you'll learn from those mistakes, and it'll be all for the better. Real quick, just...
Okay, there we go. I'm queued up and ready to go. And let's see if I got anything for you guys real quick while we're waiting. Let me see.
X, I'll be back in a minute.
Oh, you're good, man. Go for it. Oh, Kyle's back. All right, so. Okay, so it's Paul and Morgan talking sex ed. I'll give Joe a second to jump in. I think he's going to go take a whiz. I am excited not to be up till 2 o'clock in the morning. This is going to be good.
I am too.
Oh, wait, we got a flat Earth video. Should we do that one? That'd be more fun.
It could be, but Paul and Morgan, oh man, it's just painful fun.
Paul and Morgan show. No, it's not worth it. For some reason, I keep getting out of sync. It's pissing me off because I know I'm going to have to fix it in post. Hate it.
I'm back, fella.
Now I'm back, and I'm good. Okay, here we go. All right, folks, we have a Paul and Morgan. Not the good Paul and Morgan, but the other Paul and Morgan, the Christian Paul and Morgan.
The awful
and
one.
I was going through their videos, and I actually look at their videos sometimes, and this one seemed to jump out right at me, where it's a Sexy Times Q&A that they're doing. That is interesting to me, that the married Christian couple that have no idea what they're talking about decided to talk about this topic in particular. So I queued it up to about 1 minute into it, so because I don't want to hear them sing their jingle. And here we go.
So we're clear. We believe that sex is a great thing in the context of marriage. We believe that that's what the Bible preaches. Outside of marriage, we believe that it is not God's best for us.
Yeah, but it's so much fun outside of marriage. I mean, especially like if you were, if you were gay in the pre-AIDS specter generation of time, when like it's just like you're meeting your you're getting your partner's name like as the belt buckle hits the ground. It's like, how wonderful must that have been back then? Like, marriage doesn't fucking come into it there, guys. You know, it's just people having a good old time. Yeah. But they have to have all these fucking Christian hangups about the fact that
it used to be a lot of fun, X.
You can't park the beef bus without having the ring on your finger. It's like, come on, man. Nothing kills a boner harder than being fucking married couple with kids. You know?
Well, there's something else that does that even more, and that's child support payments.
Or as I've been trying to make my swervy moves over the last couple of months. when you have kids that have sleep problems, that kind of kills the mood right there. You know, it's wonderful. So anyway, back, not my shit. Let's get to Paul and Morgan.
And the Bible makes it clear that is against God's best. That's against God's law.
You know, a lot of people also say, well, sex isn't even that big of a deal. Like, you end up having sex and you're like, this is it. This is what I waited for.
Precisely, because it's not that big of a deal. It's just one of those biological things that you don't get to do until you are mature enough to do so. But to most other people, I mean, if you talk to Marilyn Manson during his time, he's like, well, it's just a blowjob. It's just like, it's like a handshake, really. I mean, it's nothing else really that's that much different. But these guys that put it off until their wedding day, they are like, essentially, in my opinion, fetishizing sex. You know, they're making it a taboo. Like, ooh, let's wait till we're married to do it. You know? Weirdos.
I get what they're saying, but yeah, it's not always fireworks and stuff, and that's true. It's not. Sex is not always going to be fireworks and rainbows and lollipops. But
holy Leslie Gore, Batman.
I mean, I consider it more of a cleaning your ears out with the Q-tip in the naughty way. You know,
oh, but that feels so good.
Both at the same time.
Yeah, especially itching.
So good. So good.
it is a big deal in the way of it's an emotional and a spiritual connection and bond that you are making, a soul tie with a person that is never supposed to be broken. There is
until she starts cheating.
You can add your own lube there. A soul tie that should never be broken.
That's not how that works, but okay.
Nope. All my ex-girlfriends, that is not. If you would ask them, do you have a soul bond or tie with this guy? They're like,
no,
I just wanted to fuck. I just wanted him to eat my pussy and call it a night.
I'm not convinced that these two ever have had sex.
I think
maybe they have not had sex with each other.
Do they know what sex is?
Maybe somebody's been riding the Sibian.
I don't think she's that entertaining. I don't think she's that interesting.
She's just. You just have to wonder when Mom says, "I'm going to be in here doing laundry for a while."
Freedom. I'm not saying that you cannot break those soul ties. I plan on making a video talking about that. So we asked you guys to send us in your questions about sex, because why not have a sex education video where we are staying as wholesome as possible and answering it in a godly manner.
First question.
How the fuck do you answer things in a godly manner?
I don't know.
Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord.
Twice.
Well, this is a good one. Is there sex boundaries between a married couple?
Why don't we ask Roger Stone about that?
Before we hear their answer. Sex boundaries in a married couple. Let's just say that I have had partners where certain things were not on the playing field.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be okay with that because it's all about consent. But boundaries, I mean, it's just one of those matters where it's like, I'm the man, you are my cum bucket, and you will take my dick whenever I want you to. Is that what we're going with here? Because that the biblical way of marriage, like the ISIS way of marriage, it's like, your wife can't say no. And I've seen more than enough Christian videos where they say that kind of thing. So I don't know. Maybe they're going to go down that dark route. Hopefully not.
They probably will touch it.
Touch what?
It.
Boundaries.
Once you're married, you have a lot of freedom to enjoy one another. Loving someone else is being considerate of what they want, of what they're comfortable with.
I would say that if you try and force something onto your husband or wife that they do not want, that's not being a godly person. And
it's also
well, I don't want you to put that massager up my.
I was gonna say start with the small diameter, make sure it has a fluted base, and then use plenty of lube. That's all.
Lubricant is important.
And eye contact. Always. That makes it mean more when you're keeping.
Fred, I burned out my Hitachi magic wand. What will I do now?
Those things are amazing.
A godly husband or wife.
Next question: is sex fun?
Yeah, and you guys had to wait till you're married to do that, you fucking rubes.
Yes, sex is a lot of fun, and it's worth waiting for. How can I?
It's worth waiting for.
The 40-year-old virgin strikes again.
Yay! And this nice pump and dump there, guys.
Prevent the wedding night from being totally awkward and embarrassing.
I don't know. Have sex before you get married.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
Being awkward and embarrassing. In fact, if you do it enough, you might get to the point where you get married and it's your honeymoon. You'd be like, "You want to?" No, I've had a really long fucking day. Like, if you do the I'm not saying traditional marriage, but if you do all the marriage things where you have to go to all the events and have the reception and all that shit, it's a long fucking day. The last thing you want to do, especially after your wife or your whoever identifies as female, if that's what the kind of partnership you're in, has to take off all the makeup, has to take out all the shit that's been put in their hair, has to take off that fucking dress that, you know, no matter how nice they make it look, it's not comfortable to wear. Last thing you want is like, hey, can I put that there? Like, no, I'd rather not. I just rather would go to sleep. That'd be great.
Maybe in the morning. Maybe in the morning.
Aww.
Have grace for each other. Communicate.
Paul and I went to premarital counseling, and one of the sessions we just talked about, you know, our expectations for the wedding night and what it looked like, and
what? Phrasing there, Paul. I mean, Morgan. Phrasing there.
Did I hear her say "ew" at the wedding night?
Like, what Paul and I went to premarital counseling, and one of the sessions we just talked about, you know, our expectations for the wedding night and what it looked like, and like, what was he thinking it was going to be like? What was I thinking it was going to be like?
Communicate.
All I know is it's going to be one of those things like, so is that right? Is that okay? Does that hurt? Are you okay? Should I stop? I can just imagine all the weird questioning that happens.
Wait,
see, this is what happens when you don't read penthouse letters.
No kidding.
Married.
But it really just sounds like, okay, so pre-marital counseling, that's just like sex ed, right?
Yeah, didn't you have that in like 5th grade or whenever you're supposed to have it?
We didn't. Not real sex ed. Are you kidding?
We didn't.
No.
The John Birch Society made sure we didn't have none of that dirty sex education. Oh no,
God damn you, Kellogg!
No, that and don't put any fluoride in the water.
Oh, come on.
Hey, that'll take some of the pressure off, and you know it'll just get better over time.
Yes, definitely talk about sex with the person you're going to marry. But I would say, first of all, be very careful of when you start talking about it. Don't be talking about sex all the time with the person that you're dating. There's no reason for that other
than the fact that that's the person that you want to fuck. I mean,
sure. Maybe just bring it up.
All the time. Bring it up every once in a while. Be like, oh, I can't wait to marry you so hard. I'm gonna marry you all over your face.
Just, yeah. No, talk about it. Bring it up. It doesn't matter.
Suggestive, you know, like, why are you eating those foot-long hot dogs with a tiny bun? You know what I mean?
You know, yeah. Make sure your kinks are known and are out there before you get to that point.
I've been married 17 fucking years and I still make giggity comments like every fucking week to the point where she's like, God, do you ever stop? And it's like, not until giggity, you know.
Then setting the boundaries to not have sex and then sticking to those boundaries. But when you're engaged and you're going to premarital counseling and you have someone in there, you know, guiding you guys, like, that's okay.
Phrasing.
A good time to talk about it.
Phrasing. When you have someone guiding you guys,
like, guiding you. Okay. See what you do.
Someone's holding the shaft and like, okay, now push.
I don't know, but they're
Mr. Hole. Oh, it's Mr.
Premarital counseling sounds hot.
Now, just so you know, your penis is going to go up a bit in there. The vagina goes up when you're doing it in missionary.
Just be careful.
Next question. How can I manage to wait for marriage? Don't take physical boundaries lightly. Be very intentional with them. Talk about them. Be clear. Write them out, because the more casual you are with them, the more likely you're going to just continue down this road of crossing this, and suddenly you've slept with each other and you were well-meaning to start out with. The natural progression when you really are attracted and like someone is that increase of physical. Wait till you're ready to get married before you start, dating seriously.
Don't
wait. You
wait until you're married.
After you're married.
That's what they edited to make it sound like. I think that's a bad edit on their part, but
yeah, that's a terrible edit.
Well, and these are the same kind of people where like you're not supposed to hug each other full on, like front to front kind of hugs. They're like, give me that Christian side hug kind of thing.
Oh yeah. Oh, the good old side hug. Make sure that Make sure the area doesn't line up.
It always makes me want to wave the white flag of surrender.
Oh, we love these guys. These guys are just. Oh, this is
soul sucking.
So terrible.
Try to reason with your boundaries, like set them and stick to them, and trust that the Lord put those boundaries in your mind and your heart for a reason.
All right, here's the big doozer. I feel kind of uncomfortable answering this question, but
fucking phrasing.
God damn it!
How did they come up with this? I mean, this sounds like stuff that would never wind up in an episode of Happy Days.
Here comes the big doozer, said nobody ever to me. Nope, but my doozer's never built a town that the Fraggles come by and eat up,
My doozer bigger than your doozer, my bigger doozer. Yeah.
I'm going to go visit the trash heap after this. I got some aggression to work out.
But it's just been asked a lot.
A lot.
Is oral sex wrong?
In a marriage.
In a marriage. Morgan, go.
Oh, that's telling that the guy's unwilling to, jump out.
Oh, of course he is. Of course he's unwilling.
Like, I only when I have to. That's what it sounds like.
Guys, again, we're talking all about this in the context of within marriage, so don't misunderstand us, okay?
Yeah. Don't be doing that.
And the fact that they have to be childish about it just tells me that they have not grown up enough to.
They are so childish about this.
It's just infantile. Like there's making jokes about it. There's giving entendres when you're talking to someone else about it. But then there's this where you're like, it's okay. We're gonna talk about sex now.
In other words, no lip service.
There's no lip service there at all.
What it does sound like is that these people just there's no foreplay at all. No.
You're married and saying, well, we haven't had sex. We've just done this.
I, in my past tried to reason certain things, certain physical things of, oh, well, this isn't really sex. Like, no, guys. But
the loophole.
Don't tell that to people at BYU. There's a lot of people that get laid on that whole loophole thing.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Or they do soaking, which is the other weird one. Like
they have so many weird loopholes.
Joe, have you ever heard of soaking? Have you ever heard of that one? For people that might not be in the know on this one, it's just where you park it. You park the beef bus in the moist cave, and you just leave it there. There's no thrusting. There's no wiggling. There's no happy joy time. It's just there.
Because God is a T-Rex. If you don't move,
I can't see that talk moving.
Yes, but I'm sorry. When I think of Soaky, I think of when I was a kid and they used to have Soaky toys.
Oh no!
And I wouldn't even put a Dick Tracy doll in the cave, if you catch my.
Is oral sex allowed in marriage? Is it okay? Again, I think it comes back to, is your wife or husband okay with it? Do they want it? And are you okay with it?
The answer is yes.
Yes.
And you should be.
Are they going to ask about candy pants and candy underwear?
No, are you kidding? They don't even know what those are.
God.
Do you have anything else that I should say?
When it comes to that, some people may have convictions in their heart. The Bible says whatever cannot be done in faith, whatever's not done in faith is sin. And if you have a conviction in your heart.
So pooping without conviction is a sin.
Well, what if another body part has that conviction,
Oh, there's some
mind is willing, but the flesh is weak. What kind of conviction are we talking about here?
And that's right. Keep Mr. Pay-Pig squeaky clean, or Mr. V.D. make it mean.
No, I shouldn't be doing this. Don't do it. But if you feel like it's within marriage and we both, it's pure to us, I don't see anything wrong with it.
Yeah.
Next question.
That wasn't even a very good answer to that other one. It's like,
no, it was a terrible answer.
This is going to be the last one we give them.
Does sex hurt?
Not if you're doing it right. Or maybe.
Well, I mean,
I take that back, because if Felicia was here, good God, she'd be like, it better.
It shouldn't. I mean, it shouldn't. Not all the time. It shouldn't hurt all the time. But I mean,
safe word.
You have to define your limits.
I mean, you don't want to be like Pinhead and be like, we have such delights to show you.
Yeah, just remember, Richard Nixon had to see deep throat 5 times to get it down pat.
Hey.
And he had to see it 10 times.
I feel like sex education and just like learning.
What were you saying there?
Oh, I said Richard Nixon had to see deep throat 5 times to get it down pat. And he had to see it 10 times to get it down checkers.
With it.
Yeah.
Next question. Does sex hurt? Hey.
I feel like sex education and just like learning the nitty gritty things about it, like how to, in the marriage bed, get turned on and how to make sure that you guys are both ready is very important.
Yeah, there's a place for reading up on sex.
Yeah, definitely. So don't
do it here, because this is Christian and family friendly. And what the fuck?
Don't be afraid to like look into like wholesome sex education books. There are definitely Christian.
Or just watch the Utah Outcasts for a week.
We'll learn you.
We'll learn you.
Written books out there that go through the nitty gritty details of how to prepare yourself and be safe and healthy when it comes to sex. Ladies, at the very beginning, your body is getting used to something that it's never done before.
It's getting used to something. Well, I mean,
not even with a cucumber.
I was gonna say that there's lots of things that you can mess around with.
There's lots of ways to get it get ready. Yeah.
I mean, guys, we have Mr. Soapy washcloth. I mean, that's most people's first love right there.
So yeah, it might hurt a little tiny bit, but it doesn't last forever. It definitely should not last for very long at all. So if it does last longer than like maybe 2 or 3 times, go to a doctor and get checked out.
What if
Paul's just standing there like, I have a dick. I have nothing to say about this.
It shouldn't last very long. Phrasing.
Another phrasing. God damn it.
A guy doesn't love me because I committed sexual sin before.
Fuck him. Fuck him. I mean, don't.
Don't.
Yeah, withhold that, but like, don't date that person.
I would just say, this is just a raw answer. I'm not trying to be politically correct. When it comes to maybe the guy has saved himself and he's, dating and he finds out the girl is not a virgin, that can be really tough for the guy.
Even if he's not a virgin?
Shouldn't be. Because it's not about you.
Yeah, about that. People are allowed to live their life as they want to live it. It's like, and if you're hung up on the fact that maybe they've had sex before with somebody else other than you, you're the one with the problem there, buddy. Not the person that had sex.
It just can't. I have a friend who was like, I just don't know if I can get past that. For other guys, when they encounter that, if the girl has, asked for forgiveness and she desires to be pure until marriage, from that point on, he can forgive her and look past it.
How fucking gross is that? Fucking Christianity, man. Seriously?
I'm sorry, but there's nothing to forgive. That's bullshit.
And from my experience, it tends to be the guys who have slipped before marriage.
Oh, usually. That's usually the way it works.
I don't think that any man, whether he's saved himself for marriage or hasn't, I don't think that he has the right to make any woman feel less.
Go fucking Morgan. Wow, that's actually
there you go. Finally, she says something of value.
You just made your husband look like a complete dickhole, though. That's really funny.
Well, that's fine because he is.
Yep, phrasing.
now that she has had sex before, but has repented and asked for forgiveness and is saying, I am saving myself now until marriage. Like, they have no right to make.
And it's gross again.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? That's enough of that shit. We've been at this for about 23 minutes, and
that's way too long.
Yeah, that is a long Paul Morgan video. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed that.
But I mean, hey, on the upside, that's longer than Paul ever lasted.
Hey-o! All right, stopping on that. And we are at 2 hours. That's a good uncut video. We'll do it that way. Joe, thanks for coming out tonight, man. It's been a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, it was an absolute pleasure.
I'm glad I was able to get you guys to laugh. Hey, well, if you get the chance again, I wouldn't mind dropping by again.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
Well, it'll be one of those things where I put it out there and be like, first come, first serve usually. So
yeah, I was surprised nobody else wanted to volunteer.
I'm like,
it's usually just timing.
It usually is. And for this one, I didn't think there would be enough time to plan it out. And you were thankfully were able to do it tonight, even though I skipped it last night. I was just at that point last night. I'm like, fuck, I'm going to bed.
I said, it's your call, fella.
Yep. Anything past Saturday though usually doesn't work for me. Like, I can't do Sundays. Sundays are fucking hard. But anyway,
tonight, because I've got to get up. I have to be up at 5 a.m. on Mondays.
Exactly. So thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for listening. And I've been noticing my camera's acting all weird on the fucking thing. The new camera. It changes up. Anyway, we'll catch you guys next week with another uncut episode. And this is the usual part where we say goodnight. When we're going to say goodnight to the patrons. Have a good time.
This is where we say goodnight.
Good night, John Boy.
Good night.